Welcome back to the Stench of Truth, this special investigation into the 1992-93 Mumbai riots, where really very few have faced convictions. Let's now go back to Ruksh Chatterjee. Remember, the Sri Krishna report was submitted on the 16th of February 1998. But what really happened to it? The BJP Shiv Sena government in Maharashtra declared the report inaccurate. Ruksh Chatterjee has more. Ruksh?
That's correct, Rajdeep. The Shiv Sena was clearly indicted by the Sri Krishna report. Let's take a look at what the politicians were doing during the time when Mumbai burned. August 1998. Gopinath Munde and Shiv Sena activists burning copies of the Sri Krishna report outside the Maharashtra Assembly. The reason?
श्री कृष्ण कमीशन एक बार हाउस ऑफ लोअर महाराष्ट्र असेंबली ने नकार दिया है, रिफ्यूज किया है, ये बायस है हिंदुओं के खिलाफ.
But even though the report has been labeled as inaccurate and rejected, 14 years later, the very men who have been indicted by the report uphold its veracity.
Here this man, an unrepentant Shiv Sena MP, Madhukar Sarpotdar, who was caught by the army with firearms in his jeep during the riots, and confirms it for our cameras.
There is a question of having any regrets. When I was in the jail for 3 months, this government has put me. During that time, case has been recorded against me. There is no question of having any regrets, and for no fault of mine.
The report strongly accuses Sena leaders of propounding the theory of retaliation, a theory Sarpotdar still defends.
If the Muslims are justified in taking revenge about Babri Masjid in the city of this Mumbai, then everything becomes justified only.
Ram Krishna Kenny was a Sena Shaka Pramukh in Dharavi during the riots. The report indicts him for leading a cycle rally on the 6th of December 1992. It was the first provocation that led to rioting in the area, and Kenny has no qualms confirming it for the camera.
नहीं, साइकिल रैली हम लोगों ने की थी. उसके बाद साइकिल रैली के बाद वहां हमारी पब्लिक मीटिंग होने वाली थी और रात को 8 बजे.
Ditto same in Antop Hill, when Shiv Sena men took money from Muslim homes, marked them and then attacked them at night. Amongst them was Pramod Thakur, who still defends his actions.
थप्पड़ का जवाब थप्पड़ से ही दिया है, पत्थर का जवाब पत्थर से ही दिया है. उस टाइम नहीं अपन एक कुछ करते थे ना तो हम लोग मर जाते थे, हिंदू लोग मर जाते थे, हिंदू लोग मर जाते थे.
Now here's Srikant Bapat, the then police commissioner, who was unable to control the spiraling violence and says he had no faith in the army.
According to me, army should never be called in the period of civil authorities. They are not trained for it. The army platoons which came to us, 7 of them were gardeners and cooks.
Surely then the report is justified when it says it was Bapat who didn't use the army well.
The army could have been given an operational role which could have swiftly and decisively put an end to the communal riots.
Then again the report notes,
the enforcement of curfew turned into a farce.
Confirmed by the then Joint Commissioner R.D. Tyagi.
Most of the people who were in charge of controlling the situation in Mumbai fashion area, senior officers, they went and deposited themselves in office.
You're talking of like ACP level officers or
ACP.
During the riots,
they all have been promoted, have been honored.
Every key player in the riots confirms what the report says, upholding its veracity. The question then is, why hasn't justice been done? In Mumbai, with Toral Varia, Ruksh Chatterjee. Okay, but that isn't all. It isn't just the role of the Shiv Sena that is clearly proven in the Bombay riots, but there is one testimony that proves that Bal Thackrey coordinated much of the January carnage that Mumbai witnessed in 1993.
बाला साहब जब बैठे थे तो उनके यहाँ फोन आते थे और फोन पे लोग बता रहे थे शायद कि कहाँ क्या हो रहा है, कहाँ ये हो रहा है. तो फिर ये अपने आदमी को कह रहे थे कि आप क्यों चुप बैठे हो, आप भी इनको मारो काटो, आप भी इनको अल्लाह के पास भेजो.
On the night of 8th January 1993, when Shiv Sena chief Bal Thackrey sat in his home controlling the mobs, that set Bombay on fire, Yuvraj Moite was present at the Thackrey residence. Moite watched as Thackrey ordered his Sainiks like a commander to riot, burn, loot and commit mass murder.
Definitely proud to say that it is because of Shiva Sena and because of my Shiva Sainiks, the retaliation was there, a vehement retaliation. Few of them behaved as Hindus. What is wrong in that?
What he saw at the Thackrey home left Moite stunned.
बाला साहब तो ये मूड में थे कि अब सहना नहीं, अब सबक सिखाओ. तो ये सब सुनने के बाद I was shocked.
But Yuvraj wasn't alone. This man, Chandrakant Handore, the then mayor of Bombay and now the social justice minister in the Congress NCP government, is the one who actually took Moite to the Thackrey home and then told him to forget what he'd just seen.
तो फिर हंडोरे ने कहा कि देखो वो ऐसे ही आदमी है तो हम भूल जाओ. तो मैंने कहा देखो एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग मेरे लिए भूलना नामुमकिन है. मैं नहीं भूल सकता. मैं पॉलिटिशियन नहीं हूं.
But Handore claims he never saw Thackrey giving orders.
युवराज जी जो बोल रहे हैं, अभी मुझे कुछ पता भी नहीं है इसके बारे में. अच्छा, वो बोल रहे हैं कि मैंने ये सब उनको बोला कि दबाने के लिए. मैं क्यों दबाऊं?
With Handore claiming he'd seen nothing, it was left up to this journalist to stand his ground. In his deposition before the Sri Krishna Commission, Yuvraj clearly describes how Thackrey ordered that not one Muslim be left alive to stand in the witness box. How he asked his men to send additional police commissioner A.A. Khan to his Allah and ordered his men to retaliate to the Hindu killings in Jogeshwari. It was a testimony that made the commission indict the Sena chief. Justice Sri Krishna writes,
even after it became apparent that the leaders of the Shiv Sena were active in stoking the fire of communal riots, the police dragged their feet on the facile and exaggerated assumption that if such leaders were arrested, the communal situation would further flare up.
हमारा सब लूट लिया, हमारे बच्चे को मार दिया, हम लोग का सब.
But what made Moite stand his ground?
हमको पता था कि उसका क्या भुगतना पड़ेगा उसके आगे. वो तो हमने भुगता है. बहुत सारे थ्रेटनिंग्स आ गए. तो ठीक है, हमने वो सह लिया. बस ऐसा ना हो कि जो हमने इतना बड़ा जानकारी है अपने पास, इतने बड़ा हमने एक्सपीरियंस किया है, वो वहीं दब जाए.
Yuvraj Moite's testimony is perhaps the most damning indictment of politicians like Chandrakant Handore and the then state government, which not only failed to protect over 900 lives, but also didn't have the will or the courage to put Shiv Sena chief Bal Thackrey in the dock. In Mumbai, Ruksh Chatterjee. And that brings us to the second question we are raising on the stench of truth. Why has no politician been indicted?